When I talk about merchandising and display, what do you think most retailers think? Isn't my sign, open sign, enough? Or do I have to move so much that I can't find stuff to help customers and staff are confused too? Good questions, and the answer to both is no. No, your open sign is not enough. And secondly, you do not have to move everything around in your store. This is not the domino effect. This is creating feature displays, theme displays in the key areas of your store so that everything looks fresh and different and interesting, and instead of discounting, you're displaying. So, what are the A's? Adjusting attitude, asking the right questions, which is what this video is all about. The B stands for be bold and brave, because bigger is better, and we'll share that with you in another video. And C equals control or cash in on creative communication, and we'll touch on it here, but that has a video in this series as well. So A is adjusting our attitude. Ask the right questions and attract the right attention. Anybody can get attention. Do you want attention for being a messy store, a confusing store? I can't find things. I don't know where anything is. I don't like how that store smells. I don't like how it looks. I don't like that there's nothing priced. There's all these things that customers are thinking and feeling and staying away, and you could turn it around and make it a lot different. So let's just go on and see how this all is going to work. So what kind of questions are we going to ask? Well, we're going to ask the basic questions. First is what? So what is the products and the props? These are the things that belong to you. These are the things that you're selling. These are the what items that you're going to put in display or worry about merchandising. Why? To make money. That's why you're in business, to make money. However, the only way you make money is from the customer or the shopper. So why and who always kind of go together, because they have to work together. You, the shop owner, has to work with the customer so that these things come together and you can make a deal. And where? Well, in your place, the area in your store, within your store, and then your windows and what people see when they drive by and walk by, that represents your visual merchandising and display in the neighborhood and in the area that you find yourself local. And how? Ta-da! With today's displays, my proven methods, and that's really what I'm going to get into more all the time. My name is Linda McKendry, and I help independent retail shop owners turn their stores into selling machines by using better displays, not bigger discounts. You will always hear my bottom line is don't discount display, because I've proven it and I've seen it happen many times. So these video series that I'm putting on YouTube are taken from my seminar handouts from the stage at trade shows or in corporate conventions and meetings and things like that. And you are welcome to have a copy of them for, they're $10 each. If you go online and get them, they're kind of fun. They're all hand done, which people used to love. And there's a lot of information there. You can use them for training your staff and for getting inspiration from. So let's look at the what and the why. Now, I want to point out, this is the arrow. This is your customer on the target. It's called target marketing. And these are your gifts and tableware and displays and products you're selling. And the arrows are the merchandising. That's the message you're going to use to hit their heart, to make them just look closer and want something else. So let's look at what is next. The question is, what do I want my displays to say? What products do I want to feature? That's what's sitting on that arrow there. What props do I need for placement? In other words, to hold it up or hold it in place. Or presentation. In other words, hold on to the customer's eye and telling the story. And then what statement does the product make? And what lighting do I need? That's always critical. And what signage is best? This is the what and the why when we start asking these questions. Then what image does the product have? Or what is it consistent with my brand image? The display and the merchandising I'm going to make. Okay, you have an image in your store. Your price has an image. Where you're located has an image. The people that work in your store have an image, and the people that shop there do too. And your products have an image, which is what we focus on more than anything. And your presentations have an image. When we're all done putting together, we've created an image and a story. And this is where I talk about how to polish up your store's image, because image equals identity. And that is a YouTube video that's already up. It hasn't been made into a playlist video, but it's there because image created plus image maintained equals target marketing. So ask yourself, what do I want my displays to say? What products do I want to feature? What props do I need for placement, for presentation? Should I display in a group or should I display the items alone? What statement does the product make? And what image does it have? We just listed what image it has, so you can ask yourself the question, is it consistent with my business image? I'm going to show you a little assignment that I was given by Shoppers Drug Mart, and they wanted something done in their windows, but we couldn't take this campaign out because it had just started and was getting going. So I looked at their store and I thought, well, this is the only place I can do something in the window. And when I went in and looked at it, I knew I had to make it short enough for the lotto sign to show up. But I also realized that I only had about a 7-inch deep shelf on which to put things. So this is what I came up with. The where and the how was this. It's like shadow box. I built it out of foam board. Of course, Red Cross. Everybody thinks of Red Cross. You think of medical assistance. I got the little teddy bears here, were available at Michael's that year, and they happened to come with these cute little props, and I mean, it was just perfect. And then, of course, the RX symbol is what I'm using for a sign, and I'm keeping everything contrasting so that it shows up well. And the sunshine, the yellow, just popping the yellow in there because yellow makes you feel good. And so here I am grouping them, and I'm telling a bigger story, and it's going to sit in the window and be visible as I'm going to show you right now. So this is where it ended up, and that's the size of it, so you can see it in relation to people walking by or driving by. And as they get closer, they can see more of the details, which is hard to photograph during the day because you get so much glare off the windows. So this is another example. What do I want my display to say? What products to feature? What props do I need for placement and presentation? Should I display in a group or alone? What statement does the product make, and what image does it have? Well, you can see here that it's consistent with the brand image of the garden center that was my client, and it is outdoors, so it's where it needs to be. And you're doing enough in there to show them what to do with it when they get it home. And all the other things that are lined up in and arranged next to that are also other products that they have. But you're going to get a good idea of what you can do with this product and how you can utilize it in your home. And that's kind of the whole idea of it. Well, where will this display have the greatest impact? Front windows, front end of aisle, feature display. Well, I call it a feature display, and obviously their window is to the world in the summertime when a garden center is open to the parking lot and everything that everybody can see. This is an example of what and why. So here again, we ask ourselves the questions. And should we display in a group alone? What statement does the product, what image does it have? Is it consistent with my brand image? Well, we can see here that what the props that are being used in here, even though they were for sale, is the little bistro table with the folding chair and the little garden hat on there and a magazine or a catalog sitting on the table. This is ideal, especially if it's talking about some of the products that are available in this area. So here's what we have called the feature display. We're showing different sizes. We're showing different plants. There's a lot of variety happening in here. A person could get around quite easily if they're shopping with a basket, but an aisle, a cart would not be able to get around there. And so possibly turning these the other direction would make it easier for a cart to get around in there. And where was the display have the greatest impact? Well, this has the greatest impact inside because we do have rainy days where people don't want to be outside shopping. And also a lot of these accessories and products available here are outdoor garden accessories that would go along with this. And of course, it increases the sales because they're impacted by the feature display. That's everything's live, beautiful, fresh for the season. And then they can see the other things that are well displayed. And the packaging gives all the information just like signs would. So we have asked the right questions. You can see that there's a process. I mean, those aren't exactly the questions. The questions you ask were going to be different than those, but they're going to fall in line with what you want to do and answer the what, why, where, when, and how. And then the video that comes previous to this is called ABCs That Sell. So take a look at that. And Be Bold and Brave is the video that comes after this one. And Control, Cash In on Creative Communication is the fourth one in this series. So here's your assignment for today. Walk your store today from outside in and ask yourself, what is the first thing people notice? You'd be amazed how many merchants do not go by their store the way the customers do. They go in a back door, they park somewhere, but you know, walk from end to end and walk and drive from end to end and kind of make a note or stop when you can first see your store and ask yourself, is that what I want people to see? Because if it isn't, it needs to be changed up. And I hope the ABCs are going to help you do that. Also, when it comes to asking questions, I have a retail repair checklist that you are welcome to access. It's a downloadable PDF for free. It's what's important to you to answer questions based on best, good, fair, or needs improvement. You'll learn a lot about your store and what you'll look around and you'll observe, and then you'll answer the questions, and it'll be very helpful. The last questions check your mindset on the future of your store. So I think it's really worth picking up today and checking into that. So all that's available at todaysdisplays.com and other resources. And we will see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you soon.